Welcome to World of Coins, the place where history meets treasure. Here, every coin tells a story, from the oldest United States classics that shaped our past to the newest rare discoveries that amaze collectors today. If you love the thrill of uncovering hidden value, exploring the beauty of design, and learning the secrets behind coins worth fortunes, then you're in the right place. Join us as we dive deep into the world of rare U.S. coins, both old and new, and reveal the fascinating details that make them priceless. Top 1. The story of the 1971 Eisenhower dollar begins long before the first planchet ever touched the coining presses, and today, we're going to travel back into that incredible moment of American history together, unfolding a tale that collectors still speak of with excitement and a hint of mystery. As you watch this video, imagine holding a piece of American pride in the palm of your hand, a coin that honors a president, celebrates the dawn of human space exploration, and carries secrets that only lucky collectors ever discover. From the very moment the Eisenhower design was approved, the mint knew it wasn't making an ordinary dollar. This was the first large-size dollar coin the United States had produced in decades, and people were eager to see how it would look, how it would feel, and what story it would tell. In 1971, when the very first year of issue began, the world watched closely, sensing history in the making. Collectors today often talk about the thrill of finding a 1971 Eisenhower dollar, but what many don't realize is just how special the first-year strikes truly were. The year 1971 was a turning point, especially because the Eisenhower dollar was minted in both copper-nickel-clad versions for general circulation and special silver versions for collectors. Each type carries its own charm, but the rarest and most valuable pieces often hide in plain sight. Imagine walking into a store in 1971 and receiving a brand new Eisenhower dollar in your change. Most people didn't think twice. It was just money, big, heavy, shiny money. But what they didn't know was that among those regular-looking coins, a few extremely special varieties were quietly slipping through. These rare pieces, because of small mistakes, unexpected metal compositions, and slight design differences, would one day become treasures. The obverse of the Eisenhower dollar features the distinguished face of President Dwight D. Eisenhower, a man whose leadership shaped the United States through war and peace. His calm, weathered expression on the coin was meant to represent strength, stability, and a steady hand guiding the nation. Every line in his portrait tells part of America's story, making this coin not just a currency but a miniature monument. Turn the coin over, and you're met with a stunning tribute to space exploration, the eagle landing on the moon, wings spread wide, clutching the olive branch of peace. This reverse design honors the Apollo 11 mission, reminding the world of the extraordinary moment when humans first set foot on the lunar surface. In 1971, this design wasn't just symbolic, it was a celebration of humanity's greatest step, but within the excitement of production, the United States Mint faced challenges. New dies needed adjustment, metals were still being tested, and certain presses struggled with the sheer size of the coin. These little struggles created mistakes, small, subtle, and sometimes nearly invisible. And those mistakes, as collectors know, are often the key to extraordinary value. Some 1971 Eisenhower dollars were struck using leftover planchets meant for silver versions. Others received slightly different impressions, producing doubled features or missing details. And because the mint didn't fully expect these coins to become heavily collected someday, they didn't document every change as clearly as modern standards require. As a result, the rarest 1971 Ikes are like ghosts. You only hear about them from seasoned collectors, old auction records, or unbelievable discoveries made by surprise. Even average collectors feel a sense of awe when they find a clean, sharp, well-struck 1971 Eisenhower dollar. The coin's large size shows every detail, every cheek line on Eisenhower's portrait, every feather on the eagle, and every crater on the small moon beneath. To hold one is to hold a little chunk of American history, but holding a rare 1971 Eisenhower dollar is a completely different experience. Those coins make your heart race the moment you see them. Maybe the metal color looks slightly different. Maybe the strike is unusually sharp. Maybe you notice a particular variety known only to specialists. But once you realize you may have something special, that moment becomes unforgettable. Collectors have spent decades trying to identify all the meaningful varieties from the first year of the Eisenhower dollar. Some are extremely subtle, requiring magnification and expert eyes. Others are more obvious, like non-circulating silver strikes mistakenly released into the wild. These rare coins often surface unexpectedly, in old drawers, forgotten boxes, or inherited collections that had never been properly checked. But why do collectors love the Eisenhower dollar so much? The answer is simple: it brings together history, beauty, nostalgia, and rarity all in one large, impressive piece. Kids who held these coins in the 1970s often grew up to become collectors. Veterans admired Eisenhower. Space enthusiasts loved the Apollo tribute. And today's treasure hunters are endlessly fascinated by the rare varieties hiding beneath ordinary appearances. Every time a collector posts online saying they found a 1971 Eisenhower dollar in a mixed lot or in an old roll of coins, the community rushes in with excitement. They ask for photos, compare details, check the edges, analyze the fonts, and evaluate the luster. Sometimes they find nothing unusual, but sometimes they find legends, and that's why this story matters. Because right now, one of these rare 1971 Eisenhower dollars could be sitting in someone's drawer, unrecognized. It could be among loose coins you inherited. It could even be in a jar of old change that hasn't been touched in years. The possibility alone keeps collectors searching, hoping, and dreaming. The United States Mint produced millions of Eisenhower dollars in 1971, but only a tiny fraction deserve legendary status. Those pieces were not meant to be special, but chance, mistakes, and history made them valuable. A combination like that is what collectors live for. This coin was born in a time when America was transitioning, politically, socially, and technologically. The Eisenhower dollar symbolized unity and progress, honoring both a respected president and the nation's greatest scientific achievement. And the very first year of issue, 1971, remains the most meaningful starting point of the entire Ike dollar series. Many collectors describe the 1971 Eisenhower dollar as the sleeper treasure of modern American coins. It doesn't always get the attention it deserves, but when a rare variety appears at an auction, the bids can skyrocket from shocked collectors who know exactly what they're looking at. Imagine discovering one of those museum-worthy varieties yourself. Imagine holding a coin so rare that only a handful exist, with experts knowing each example by heart. That feeling, the moment of realization, is the thrill every collector chases. And it's the reason we tell these stories, so others can search their own coins and maybe find something extraordinary. That if you're new to collecting, the Eisenhower dollar is a wonderful place to begin. Its size makes it easy to study. Its varieties make it exciting. And its history makes it unforgettable. Whether you have one coin or a full collection, every 1971 Ike holds a story worth telling. For seasoned collectors, the search never ends. They know the hidden varieties, the subtle diagnostic marks, the slightly different shades of metal, and the rare die characteristics of the earliest strikes. They know the thrill of discovery, the joy of learning, and the satisfaction of uncovering a treasure overlooked by others. So if you have a 1971 Eisenhower dollar, or if you find one in your change or among old family belongings, take a closer look. You never know what you might uncover. And if you're unsure, always share photos and ask for help. Coin experts and enthusiasts love guiding others on their treasure hunting journey. And viewers, remember, always comment below about your own coins, because your comment might lead us to make a future video about the treasures you have at home. Your discoveries could help countless other collectors who are searching for information just like you once were. In the world of rare coins, one discovery can change everything. One forgotten coin can become a collector's dream. One overlooked detail can turn ordinary metal into museum-worthy treasure. The 1971 Eisenhower dollar is the perfect example of this magic. That brings us to the end of our journey, but one last thing remains, the question of value, the moment collectors eagerly wait for. And the truth is astonishing. The rarest 1971 Eisenhower dollars, especially high-grade varieties and unusual metal strikes, have sold for as much as $190,000 in words. Comment below about your own coins so we can tell you information about them, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and comment for more amazing coin stories. And make sure you like the video to support the channel and keep these adventures going. Top 2. The story of the 1972 Eisenhower Dollar begins during a time when America was moving forward with energy, pride, and a sense of unity. The country had just celebrated the incredible achievements of the Apollo missions, and the legacy of President Dwight D. Eisenhower still echoed through the decisions and dreams of the nation. When the U.S. Mint struck the 1972 Ike dollar, it wasn't just producing a coin, it was creating a symbol of honor, space exploration, and national identity all in one powerful design. Collectors today know the Eisenhower dollar as one of the most intriguing and surprisingly complex modern coins ever minted. But few people realize that the 1972 issue stands at the very center of that intrigue. In fact, many coin experts consider the 1972 Eisenhower dollar the most fascinating year in the entire Ike series. And as you listen to this story, you'll understand why so many people search for these coins with excitement and hope. When you first look at a 1972 Eisenhower dollar, it feels bold and impressive. The coin is large, heavy, and full of history. On the obverse, you see the strong, composed face of President Eisenhower, carved with determination and quiet authority. His portrait symbolizes leadership that guided the nation through challenging times. Every curve, every deep engraving, every subtle highlight tells the story of a man who shaped American life in ways that still matter today. Turn the coin over, and you're transported straight to the surface of the moon. The reverse design features an eagle landing with an olive branch in its claws, set against a cratered lunar landscape. This artwork commemorates the Apollo 11 mission, reminding Americans of the unforgettable moment when humankind first touched the moon. The 1972 Ike dollar carried that legacy proudly, encouraging people to dream bigger and reach higher. But the true magic of the 1972 Eisenhower dollar isn't just its patriotic symbolism. The real fascination comes from the many varieties struck that year, varieties so distinctive, rare, and valuable that they became legendary among collectors. This is why 1972 Ikes are a treasure-hunting dream. One coin, one small detail, one subtle feature could mean the difference between a common dollar and an extremely rare discovery worth a fortune. The year 1972 produced three major reverse types, known simply as Type 1, Type 2, and Type 3. Each variety can be identified by the shape of the Earth and the outlines of the continents above the eagle. To collectors, these differences matter immensely. To casual observers, they're almost invisible. But small differences often hold big value. The Type 1 features a rough, bold Earth with clear, heavy lines. The Type 3 has sharper, more defined continents. But the Type 2, oh, that one is the real treasure. The Type 2 variety is so unique and rare that only a tiny number escaped into circulation by mistake. The Earth appears smooth, lightly detailed, almost floating. And the moment you spot a Type 2, your heart skips a beat. That variety alone has turned everyday collectors into lucky legends. Imagine someone sorting through old change or searching through a coin jar and suddenly noticing something unusual on the reverse of their 1972 Eisenhower dollar. Maybe the Earth looks a little too smooth. Maybe the globe seems different. Maybe the continents look faint. In that moment, the collector realizes they might be holding one of the rarest Ike dollar varieties ever made. It's the kind of discovery that makes your hands tremble, but variety isn't the only thing that makes the 1972 Eisenhower dollar special. Some coins were struck with unusual die characteristics, including strong doubling, faint marks, or unusually sharp details. And while many 1972 Ikes entered circulation and became worn over time, a small number survived in high grades, those shimmering, untouched examples with full luster and flawless surfaces that collectors dream of owning. The minting process itself wasn't easy. The Eisenhower dollar was large and heavy, requiring different die pressures, multiple revisions, and careful adjustments throughout the year. Sometimes the metal didn't spread evenly. Sometimes the dies wore out faster than expected. Sometimes tiny errors crept into the design. These unpredictable factors created rare varieties that collectors still study carefully today. Every 1972 Eisenhower dollar carries a piece of history, but the rare ones carry something even more powerful, the thrill of discovery. When a collector finds a 1972 Type 2 or an exceptional high-grade example, it feels like finding buried treasure. The excitement spreads across coin forums, YouTube channels, and collector groups. Everyone cheers. Everyone analyzes. Everyone dreams of finding the next one. Even if you aren't yet a coin expert, you can understand why this coin became so special. It tells a story of America, of progress, of space exploration, of artistry, and of unexpected rarity. Few coins combine all these elements so effortlessly. That's why the 1972 Eisenhower dollar remains one of the most beloved pieces of U.S. numismatic history. Over the years, collectors have shared countless stories about discovering rare 1972 Ikes in old boxes, inherited collections, or forgotten bags of coins. These discoveries often happen by accident, turning ordinary days into unforgettable celebrations. And the best part is that anyone watching this video right now might have one of those rare coins sitting at home without even knowing it. If you ever come across a 1972 Ike dollar, don't ignore it. Study the earth on the reverse. Look at the continents. Notice the shapes, the lines, the softness or sharpness of the details. What you find could surprise you. It could even change your life as a collector. This coin has become a symbol of hope for new numismatists. It encourages people to search their drawers, check their old change, look through inherited items, and learn the art of identifying rare varieties. And every time someone finds something special, the story continues: new excitement, new discoveries, new legends. Collectors describe the Eisenhower dollar as big, bold, and honest. There's nothing subtle about its size or its message. And yet, the 1972 version hides one of the most subtle, valuable varieties in modern U.S. coinage. That contrast makes it unforgettable. Throughout the years, auctions have showcased spectacular examples of the 1972 Eisenhower dollar, especially the Type II variety. When these coins appear, collectors pay close attention. Prices climb. Bidders compete. And the world is reminded once again that small differences can create enormous value. Every collector knows the thrill of examining a coin under a magnifying lens, hoping to find that one rare feature. And the 1972 Ike dollar gives collectors that thrill over and over again. Its varieties invite curiosity. Its history inspires respect. And its value rewards patience, attention, and passion. If you're watching this video right now, this is your moment to become part of the story. Check your coins. Look closely at your dollars. Don't underestimate what you have at home. Hidden treasures appear when you least expect them, and many great finds come from people who simply decided to look a little closer. Make sure you also comment below about your own coins, because your comment helps us bring you future videos, answer your questions, and guide you in discovering the true worth of the treasures in your collection. Your participation keeps the coin community alive, growing, and learning together. The 1972 Eisenhower dollar is more than metal. It's more than currency. It's a connection to history, to exploration, to leadership, and to the excitement of discovery. It invites every collector to dream, to search, and to enjoy the journey. And now, as we reach the end of this storytelling journey, we arrive at the moment many collectors wait for: the coin's potential value. The rarest varieties of the 1972 Eisenhower dollar, especially high-grade pieces and the legendary Type II, have reached astonishing prices at auction, including as much as $180,000 in words. Comment below about your own coins so we can provide information about them, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and comment for more amazing coin videos. And make sure you like the video to support the channel and keep these exciting stories coming. Top 3. The story of the 1974 Eisenhower dollar begins in a unique moment of American history, when the nation was changing rapidly and the mint was working tirelessly to keep up with the demands of collectors, businesses, and the public. As the large-sized Ike dollars continued to circulate, people became increasingly fascinated with their bold appearance and memorable designs. And in 1974, the United States Mint struck one of the most intriguing and collectible issues of the entire Eisenhower dollar series. When you look at the 1974 Eisenhower dollar, you immediately sense its strength. The coin is large, heavy, and powerful, unlike anything we see in our change today. On the obverse, President Dwight D. Eisenhower's portrait stands firm and dignified, reminding the nation of his leadership, his military service, and his role in guiding America through some of its most crucial years. His image on the coin remains one of the most iconic designs of modern numismatics, but the reverse of the 1974 dollar is just as compelling. With the eagle landing on the surface of the moon, wings spread wide and an olive branch clutched tightly in its talons, the coin continues the celebration of the Apollo 11 mission, one of humankind's greatest achievements. This lunar-inspired design captures the spirit of exploration and ambition that defined the early 1970s, making the coin more than just currency. It becomes a symbol of American accomplishment. The 1974 Eisenhower Dollar is especially interesting to collectors because it sits at a crossroads in the series. It represents one of the final years before major changes would take place. Behind the scenes, the Mint was preparing for the upcoming Bicentennial redesign, and because of these shifts, several varieties and minting anomalies slipped through the cracks, anomalies that today's collectors search for with incredible excitement. Like other Eisenhower dollars, the 1974 issue was struck in two primary forms. One was the copper-nickel-clad version intended for circulation. The other was the 40% silver version produced mainly for collectors. These silver strikes were made at the San Francisco Mint, and their brilliant, mirror-like surfaces often attract those who appreciate finely produced coinage. But hidden among these coins are rare pieces that have captivated collectors for decades. One of the most fascinating elements of the 1974 Eisenhower dollar is the presence of unusual strike qualities, die varieties, and extremely high-grade survivors. The Mint's equipment was heavily used during these years, and as dies wore down or machinery needed adjustments, subtle varieties emerged. These differences might seem small, a feather slightly doubled, a tiny shift in lettering, or a die crack near the edge, but to experienced collectors, these tiny variations can mean enormous value. Imagine someone in the 1970s receiving a shiny new Eisenhower dollar in their change. They might admire its size or enjoy its unique design, but few would imagine that decades later, collectors would be searching these same coins to uncover rare varieties that were created accidentally. History has a funny way of turning everyday objects into extraordinary treasures. The 1974 dollar also has a fascinating rumor that still sparks discussions among collectors today. Some have wondered whether any 1974 silver dollars were mistakenly released into circulation. The Mint officially denies this, stating all 1974 silver coins were part of special collector sets. Yet every few years, someone claims to have found one that seems suspiciously different from the rest. These stories, whether true or not, continue to fuel the mystery and excitement surrounding the 1974 issue. What makes this coin even more thrilling is the fact that high-grade examples are incredibly hard to find. A coin the size of an Eisenhower dollar tends to pick up marks easily. Just one brief moment in a bag or bin can leave scratches or dents that lower the grade. So when a 1974 survives in nearly flawless condition, sharp details, glowing luster, and no visible marks, it immediately becomes a rare and highly desirable treasure. Collectors also love searching for unusual proof examples. Proof dollars from this period were struck with extra care, receiving multiple blows from the dies to create crisp detail and mirrored fields. But even among proofs, rare varieties exist. Some have stronger cameo contrast, some have slight doubling, and some show unexpected die features that set them apart from the rest. The 1974 Eisenhower dollar holds a unique charm because it wasn't widely collected during its release. People didn't think of it as a future treasure, they saw it simply as a large coin, useful for vending machines and casino slot machines. But as years passed, interest grew. Collectors began to realize that many of the varieties and high-grade examples were far rarer than anyone expected, and so began the Great Hunt. Coin roll hunters, auction enthusiasts, and experienced numismatists started searching their collections, hoping to uncover something special. Many did. Rare high-grade examples surfaced. Varieties emerged. And slowly, the legend of the 1974 Eisenhower dollar began to grow. Every collector who holds a 1974 dollar today feels a connection to the past. They feel the weight of history in their palm, the story of a president, the spirit of the moon landing, and the craftsmanship of the era. The coin carries the dreams of a nation and the surprises of minting technology that was still evolving. Collectors love the thrill of taking out a magnifying glass, looking carefully at each detail, and hoping to see something extraordinary. Is the strike unusually strong? Are the letters crisp? Is the eagle's wing doubled? Is the surface flawless? Every examination feels like a small adventure, full of potential and excitement. This is why the 1974 Eisenhower Dollar remains a favorite among new collectors as well. It is affordable in common grades yet filled with mystery, variety, and the potential for rare finds. Even someone new to the hobby can suddenly uncover a treasure worth far more than expected, and in the coin community, the 1974 Eisenhower Dollar continues to spark discussion. People share photos, ask questions, compare details, and celebrate discoveries together. Many of the greatest finds come not from experts, but from everyday people who simply decided to take a closer look at an old coin sitting forgotten in a drawer. If you're watching this video right now, you might have a 1974 Eisenhower Dollar of your own. Maybe it's one you found years ago. Maybe it's one you inherited. Or maybe it's one you spotted at a flea market or in a coin shop. Whatever the case, you should take another look at it. You never know what rare features it might hold, and remember to always comment below about your own coins. Your comments help guide future videos, and your discoveries inspire other collectors who might also have rare treasures hidden in their homes. Sharing your stories helps the entire coin community grow and learn together. As the years go by, the 1974 Eisenhower Dollar continues to rise in popularity. More collectors join the hunt, more varieties are studied, and more rare examples appear at auctions. The story of this coin is far from over. In fact, it grows with every new discovery, and now, as we reach the end of our story, we come to the moment many collectors eagerly wait for: the value. Rare high-grade varieties and exceptional 1974 Eisenhower Dollars have reached astonishing prices, with the most extraordinary examples selling for as much as $160,000 in words. Comment below about your own coins so we can tell you information about them, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and comment for more incredible coin stories. And make sure you like the video to support the channel and keep these exciting treasure hunts alive.